Fletcher. Now sit back and prepare to be entertained.
There we go. We're back in the dripping bucket. Nothing's changed, or everything's changed. Maybe I killed Fletcher. Maybe not. No one will ever know. We're still here with AC Cross, and this time we're going to talk a little bit more about specifically that horror novel that you were talking about with the Lovecraftian vibes. And I'm kind of curious, how you ended up. You started out in comedy. You did westerns, and we talked about Red Dead Redemption 2. There you go, I said it. That's a tongue twister. Inspiring that one, but then how did you end up with the BODDICKER letters? Because that's another pivot again.
Yeah, so it's something about like that I loved when I was doing Where Blood Runs Gold was the cosmic horror component of that. Like it is a western, but there's also like the flesh-eating dust and these monsters that are hiding in the caverns and stuff. It's like, and the things that I don't even know about. It's like they're there, and in sequels and stuff, I'll try to figure out what they are.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Yeah,
but it's like there's something so fascinating about like that unknown horror. Because you can do vampires, you can do werewolves and things like that, and those are cool. But it's like there's something about the unknown it cuts deeper into you. And so I've for the last few years I've kind of dabbled in doing like very short stories. Like every October, I post for like the month of October. I try to do a 500-word horror story on my website. Like just every day, just a brand new one. See what I can churn out.
Are you able to consistently do that every day?
Yeah, I've done it for 3. I've done it for 3 years.
Wow.
The first 2 years I got every day. This past year I got about halfway through before it's like nobody's interested in this, so I'm just gonna.
I'm so impressed though. I feel like if somebody gave me the task of writing a 500-word story, I would do that in one day. And then spend the rest of the week editing it 7 times once a day.
A year later, you'd have a new novel.
Exactly.
No,
so
it's
I'm really impressed with like the ability to push it out and kind of just let it be what it is. Like I think that's a skill.
Yeah, because they're not edited at all. I don't just go through and edit them. I keep it to exactly 500 words. Like it can't be 499. It can't be 501. And I go through and count. And if it's like 502, I have to find 2 words to cut from that. Like it has to be exactly 500 words, because that like puts a constraint on it.
Yeah, that must make you super aware of like your prose on like a really individual letter. I've noticed that like it's kind of a non sequitur, but about Twitter, where the character limit makes you examine really hard exactly which sentences you want to keep, and I imagine that
spell everything wrong.
Yeah, that works too. But
there's the writer way, and then there's the way that everybody else does it, which is like acronyms are you.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe I'm working too hard. Story of my life. Yeah, but like putting the exact 500-word limit on must kind of flow into your regular prose writing a little bit, just making you aware of superfluous statements and filler words.
They're very different because you have to pack. If you just do the 500-word story, you have to pack everything into those 500 words. Like you have to know exactly what point you want to get to.
Yeah.
So it's a neat little exercise, and I've written some other horror like short stories, kind of in the same vein, a little bit longer. And there was just something about that. It was like there's something just like so cool about that, where you're just like you're creating something you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is like, I'm all about Lovecraftian stuff. Like I reread, Alan Moore did a few different series of Lovecraftian comics, and I like reread those
Oh,
every year.
cool.
So it's just like those are so cool, and it's like, well, let's give it a shot. Let's see what I can do with this. And then it kind of developed. I was like, well, how do I want to do this? I want to do this differently, like because everybody does like the same sort of thing. Like I want to do this in letter form because you can show madness increasing
Yeah.
without the characters being aware of it.
Yeah, and just kind of like the frenetic energy that's appearing in your letters.
And it just kind of
really
spirals down and down and down. And I wanted to make a character, like a character that was connected, is that people wouldn't necessarily like. Because most of my books, I tend to make the protagonist like you like them. Like even if they're harsh, even like because Errolthorpe is super harsh, but there's still something that's like I like him at the end of the day. I wanted to create an MC that you didn't really like, that was kind of a douchebag. Just very snooty, very full of himself, very arrogant, and so he goes into the situation assuming he'll be able to succeed. And then it's just more and more, it's like, you're in over your head and you can't get out at this point.
So is it like a conversation in letters where you're seeing two sides, or is it just his dissent?
It's just his, and he is writing letters every few days, every day or so. It's kind of to the woman he loves back in Boston. And so he does a lot of these like flowery things, talking to her about, how much he loves her and how much he misses her and how much he wants to see her, and just is this very like, romantic letters while kind of still telling the story. And then it just, you can see things starting to creep into the writing as time goes on, where he's maybe a little shorter. He maybe is a little, goes off on tangent a little bit more. Maybe he's not quite as effusive with his praise. It's just little bits and pieces kind of pop up, and you're like, okay, something's happening here.
Oh, that's really cool. I have to admire just the narrative choice of not showing her at all, and never giving context to the back and forth. It's just him, like, just this unrelenting pressure of him in the story, but also kind of on her, I imagine. Did you do a little bit of character building for her, or did you just...
I won't give spoilers away, but it does eventually come out. It does eventually come out who she is, and I was very happy with how that turned out.
Okay, so we have to read it to find out that one. That's good. I
could give spoilers, but I don't want to spoil it.
No, that's fine.
You got to get the book first.
Exactly. We want people to go from here and go to Amazon and buy the Boddicker Letter. Oh, jeez, the Boddicker Letter. I can't do it. Fletcher, help me.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to piece together what you're saying. Was it the Boddicker Lovers?
The title of his book, man.
Boddicker Letters.
Yeah, there you go. Go buy it.
Your one-track mind. The thought of writing a book with only one character broke you.
Yeah, I think so. I would probably write both characters, and then maybe I would decide to leave out her letters, but I would still
he
have
needs a gardener. And what about his friend? Who's driving the bus? They should have a couple of chapters.
But the mail carrier who's got to see the stupid guy every day. How does he feel?
Curiosity, did you ever play any of the Call of Cthulhu games way back in the day?
Those I haven't played those specifically yet, but I want to very, very badly.
Those have that feel that they're sort of talking. I remember they, a good GM would sort of break the characters over the course of a brief campaign kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
Well, Chaosium recently, over the past couple of years, has done a real play of that with Mark Meir, the voice of Shepard, as the keeper of arcane lore, and those they're so good. They're so good just to watch through those, and so like I want to do that very, very badly.
So that's another tabletop RPG.
Yeah.
Call
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was Stormbringer. They did. I don't know if it was first, but that was my intro into Chaosium back in the day. Because I was a, Elric nerd.
No way.
I know, crazy. So, what are you working on next? What's your next project?
I knew the question was coming.
Let's get the list out. Get the gift.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of different ones. Again, I'm working on another Lovecraftian one. That is not letters this time, but pages in a journal from like a research project. Then I have the sequel to Where Blood Runs Gold that I'm working on. I have another one in that universe that I really need to get on the stick with. It's actually a kind of retelling of the 12 Labors of Hercules.
Oh, cool.
In that like west.
Oh, okay. That was gonna be my question.
Yeah, in that Western world and stuff. So he's like, for example, like one is instead of like you have to get the thing from the deer is you have to hunt down this guy who changes into a deer.
Oh, cool.
So that goes like, okay, we'll see. It's been a hot minute since I've been on that one, but
that's a really cool genre mashup of like, we do get a lot of retellings, but then you've brought like a brand new hook to it where you're like, I'm just gonna throw out the entire basis of the genre and go Western. And I feel like the Western has that ability to be similarly epic in scope. In a way that often gets neglected. Yeah, that's a really cool idea.
And I've really kind of built that world out, like especially with like the sequels and stuff. You have the desert itself, but then you also have the mountains, which cold and snow. You have the swamps, which are like the most haunted place, most cursed place, which you get to see more of that in those. Like the caverns under the ground that you just kind of get opened up, where like all the dark things lurk. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it that's fun. I need to get back to those. Have the other thing I was working on is like the circus fantasy, which I'm trying to figure out exactly where to go with that.
Okay, no, hang on. No, we're not.
How many projects do you work on at any one time?
No,
so you're not
we're
able
not
to
pivoting.
pick one project, go into
I actually can't hear you right now.
Is it me?
Either of you.
Yep.
I can hear you guys. I think it might be a.
I cannot. I don't have the volume for either of you.
I'm seeing level. So Krystle, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear him too. Is there a chat? I don't think there's a chat. Oh, there is a chat. Let's see if it'll pop up for him.
I'll just quietly sing a song while you're.
Yeah, maybe he'll come back to your serenade.
I don't know if you can see
I don't hear either of you right now. It's so weird.
Do you have a? Hold on. Let's try something here. Chat. There we go.
So resourceful.
Because we can talk about the chat, but he can't hear us talking about it.
Oh, that's true.
And testing, are you hearing us? Krystle, sing us a song.
No, it's not gonna happen.
What you listen to these days?
What am I listening to?
Yeah, what's your jam, yo?
I'm Indian all things. Like the biggest part. Oh, hey, you're back.
Oh, he's back.
I dodged that question. Whew.
Nicely done. We're all.
Yeah.
I was trying to corner on musical tastes, but
Music, yeah.
she's dodged it.
You don't want to do that though, because you'll get a hyper focus out of me, and then you'll regret asking. So, in the midst of all that chaos, what I was trying to ask was, I want to hear more words about the circus fantasy, because that's hella my jam, and so I'm curious, like, how you went with that, like, secondary world, our world, spill. I'm ready.
Yeah, so it's secondary world. Definitely, it's actually D&D inspired. The campaign that I'm on right now is, we're trying to make it a little more serious this time, just to try something different. And it was like one of our characters is a fortune teller, one's like a jack of all trades or like a magician, and my character is like an artificer who makes metal birds that can magically fly and do whatever. It's kind of a parlor tricks. These are really cool and I like them, but I want to know more about the entire circus. And so I kind of scribbled notes down and started coming up with ideas for the circus and how to go from that. I was like, well, I could do these different D&D races, but I should probably make my own that are similar to it, just because I don't want to get sued.
Well, they're all D&D. It's all gnomes and goblins. They stole them all anyway.
Well, no, but the cat people, I probably shouldn't call them the exact words that
True, yeah.
that the cat people are for D&D. So just coming up with those, and then trying to pick up the MC is who do I want to go with? It's well, this this young guy, he's running from something because you run to the circus to get away, and just kind of building it from there to kind of see what is he running from and how does that affect things. And I'm excited to see where that goes, because I know what his secret is, and I know the big final battle, and it's gonna be dope.
Yeah, but you just need some of the pieces for earlier on to get the momentum going.
Yeah. I love that. You know the end of the book, and you start writing, and you're like, I have no fucking idea how I'm getting there.
It's they're in this little town, and then it's a big how? Can you just fast forward this part, please? Just let me get to the end.
Do you ever write backwards? You have the idea, so you just start putting it down just to see if it sparks ideas?
I generally work front to back, and that's I generally don't even. I mean, I do some snippets that I really want to keep, but by and large, it's a process from A, B, C, D, E, just following that, because it all kind of builds on itself. Even for editing, it's I'm tweaking some stuff or clearing some stuff up, but I'm not changing the flow of the entire book. It has the flow that it needs to have.
See, Krystle, sane people write chronologically.
No, but see, what happens for me is I go too far ahead, and then I catch myself summarizing too much stuff. This happened, and then that happened, and that happened, and then I'm like, well, I should have written that, shouldn't I? So then I go back, and then I write all the stuff the bank robbery. I got in trouble for summarizing that one, and then so there's a good reason for it. Okay, I swear.
Yeah, I believe it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No, more often than not, I tend to start with a title, that kind of kicks things off. More often than not, although I'll tell you, the title that gave me the most fits was Where Blood Runs Gold.
Okay.
I had the book in edits, being edited by my editor, and I didn't have a title for
Before
it.
You had
this makes me mad, because normally I have a title. It's what can I do with that and kind of build on the title. That one was just, nope, you can find out at the end.
that one truly embodies the spirit of the D&D campaign, where none of the points does it cooperate with what you wanted.
Not at all. I mean, and I don't have one for the circus fantasy either.
Oh,
it's nothing's jumped on me. It's come
maybe that's
on.
what's stopping you.
Yeah, I know that with one of them, I think it was by the end of the book, I'd written the whole thing, didn't have a title, and actually had to go through and read my own damn book looking for like, where's a cool sentence or a couple of cool words in a row that kind of feel right.
Which one was that?
Dust of the Dead, which is with beta readers.
Oh, I remember you brainstormed that one for a long time.
That was painful. Way too much effort.
Yeah, that's
almost easy.
Yeah, oh yeah. No. I love having the title first. I'm the same. Like a lot of books, like Blackstone Heart, Beyond Redemption, is like I have a title, and that title sort of ties to the theme, and then boom, off you go. Instead of like, I read a book, I wonder what it's called.
I'm so impressed with that. I cannot relate. The one that I'm working on right now is most likely the only book I've ever written that had a title before a significant draft was finished. And it's only because I was so obsessed with Ozier's latest album that like I couldn't even think about anything else, that even I was just naming shit after his songs and stuff. So we'll see if that stays. I don't know. I like the title, but now I'm embarrassed how it came to be. You know. So.
Are you willing to spill the title?
Yeah, it's In the Shadow of My Bright Future.
Cool.
So, you know, everything that he had potential to accomplish is well behind him because he's pursued a life of crime. And it fits, so it's like, maybe I just won't tell anybody how I came up with it.
Some titles just connect. Like there's another one I'm working on. So I've kind of gotten into the habit of every so often going to the nearby thrift store and finding the most cursed object I can find.
Okay.
It's like the weirdest thing, the stuff that gives me like the creeped out feeling, because I just think that's cool. And so it's like, I could probably use a bunch of these as inspiration for like cursed objects in this world or whatever it may be. And I went from there and I was like, oh, go ahead.
That's a very Victorian hobby of like just collecting things that are just unsettling on a deep level.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of that era of like it's definitely like the I think 1800s. I'm not entirely sure with that, but I was trying to figure out kind of what to do with this story, and then it's like it starts with the main character like at his dad's funeral, and it's like, oh, okay, it's this kind of story. It's going to be one of these sad heartbreaker ones. Awesome, that's fun. And so it eventually came up with a title like A Gouge in the Heart of Forever, and I'm like,
oh, that's a good
okay.
title.
Like, I guess we're going with this now.
Yeah, it's a great title.
I guess we're doing this one now. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there'll be another third one.
Once they present their titles to you, you have no choice but to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're hitting about 20-minute mark there.
All right.
It's a lovely spot to wrap up. And thank you again for joining us and
my pleasure.
Chatting about your, oh my God, how many projects? Like how many books are you actually working on right now?
In terms of ones that are actively working on, probably half a dozen. In terms of works in progress, technically even just titles, like 65, 66, something like that.
Are you able to tell, like, that one's got legs, that one's gonna end up published from where you are, or like, because you have quite a few published already, so I wonder if...
Yeah. It's whichever one kind of, I don't know, appeals to me the most, and so it'll just try to, like, which one should I go? Like, ideally, most of them will get published, but, you know, I have a day job and have to...
Yeah.
You know, make money and all that fun stuff. So the time isn't quite as there. But yeah, that's that whole thing. And to pay me would be people just pay me to write books, you know, that would be nice, but
yeah, so it's just kind of a matter of like which one is most compelling to you and which one hooks you most consistently.
And those change basically every day. So that's
that's why you have
that's all. That's exactly.
Oh my god. I yeah. I think I have two.
Is it? Yeah, I thought I had a lot. I don't have that many. But like for me, it's like I'll flirt with a few of them for a while, and then like the obsession kicks in. And once the obsession kicks in, I cannot think about anything else. And I'm sure I become very insufferable as a housemate. This is the only thing I want to talk about. The only thing I want to do with my spare time. Yeah.
My problem comes because I want everything to become a series. Which is like, okay, so like San Dios, I've got the 3 Where Blood Runs series, then the Wolfligan series. Oh, and I guess we're going to do these other 3 now that we're just going to figure out. And then the Noir, which I still need to get edited. Oh, the Noir, let's do, there's 10 there, 15 there. Like, come on. You haven't even published one of those. What are you doing written 15?
I mean, that's writing though. Like, as much as we are doing the act of publishing, I think the thing that keeps us here is that obsessive personality trait, where it's we're gonna do it no matter what anyway. So might as well enjoy the ride.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that perfect note, enjoying the ride. Yeah, thanks again for joining us, and we will see you folks next week.
Yeah. Thanks very much.